Let's talk about the perfect revenge. I mean, a revenge so patient, so intricate, so flawlessly executed that it becomes a masterpiece. We're diving into one of the greatest tales of retribution ever written. It's a story that asks a pretty terrifying question. What happens when you give a brilliant, wronged man basically infinite time and infinite money to settle a score? And these words, from the author himself, they're the blueprint for the entire thing. Time and silence. These aren't just abstract ideas for our hero. They are the weapons he's going to use. First, he's given time, 14 brutal, agonizing years of it. And then he learns to master silence, how to move like a ghost, how to listen, and how to build a trap so perfectly, so quietly, that his enemies will walk right into it without ever, ever seeing it coming. So imagine you're in high society Paris. Suddenly, this man appears. Nobody knows him. Nobody's heard his name. But he has a fortune that seems to have no bottom. He's this complete mystery, this figure of incredible power and charisma, and he just instantly owns every room he walks into. The question on everyone's lips is, who is this guy? But to understand the legend, you first have to understand the man he once was. I mean, the rumors about this Count are just insane. His wealth isn't just huge, it's bottomless. He seems to have mastered every subject you can think of, from chemistry to international politics. He slips between languages like a native. He's a phantom, a man with no history, no family, no past. He's practically a myth. And like all good myth, this one starts not with a god, but with a very, very mortal man. Right. So before the Count, there was Edmond Dantes, just a young, happy guy with his whole life ahead of him. A life that was completely shattered in a single afternoon, all because of the petty, pathetic jealousy of the people around him. This is where it all begins, the story of his destruction and eventually his incredible rebirth. Just picture it. Marseille, France, 1815. Edmond Dantes is only 19 years old and life is good. I mean, really good. He's the first mate on a big merchant ship, and he's just been promised the captain's job. That means he'll finally have enough money to take care of his old dad and, this is the big one, marry the woman he is absolutely in love with, Mercedes. His future is simple, it's honest, and it is bright. And here's the thing, his life wasn't ruined by some cartoon villain. It was destroyed by 3 regular guys, each with their own grubby little motive. You've got Danglars, the ship's bookkeeper, who's just sick with jealousy over Edmond's promotion. Then there's Fernand Mondego, who pretends to be Edmond's friend, but secretly wants his fiancée, Mercedes. And the final piece of the puzzle is this ambitious prosecutor, Gérard de Villefort. See, Edmond is carrying a letter, a totally innocent favor, but it's addressed to Villefort's father, who's a supporter of the exiled Napoleon. And for a guy like Villefort trying to climb the political ladder, that connection is absolute poison. So you have professional envy, romantic jealousy, and craven ambition, all twisting together to ruin one innocent man. And they do it at his wedding feast. Can you imagine? The single happiest moment of his life. He's there with his father, his fiancée, his friends, and he's just ripped away from Mercedes' side, and the whole time he's thinking, okay, this is just some crazy misunderstanding. It'll be sorted out in an hour. He has no idea he's just walked out of his life for good. He's being condemned so a politician can bury a secret. Well, the misunderstanding is never cleared up. Instead, he's taken to the Chateau d'If. This is an infamous island of fortress, a place where they send political prisoners. It's a place you go to be erased from the world, a place no one ever comes back from. 14 years. I mean, just let that number sit there for a second. He goes in at 19. He comes out at 33. His entire youth, gone. And he's not just in prison. He's in solitary, in the deepest, darkest dungeon. For years, he screams, he prays, he begs to know what he's even accused of, until his hope just rots into despair. He becomes nothing more than prisoner number 34. 14 years of total darkness and the crushing weight of being completely, utterly forgotten. And eventually, after years of this, something inside him just snaps. He hits rock bottom, total despair, and he decides there's only one way out. He's going to starve himself to death. He starts throwing his food out the little window of his cell. It sounds crazy, but you have to understand, it's the only thing he has left to control, his own death. He is calmly preparing to die. But then, right as he's about to fade away completely, he hears it. A noise. A faint, scratching sound from the other side of the stone wall. It's a sign of life, a sign of effort. And it's enough. It's just enough to pull him back from the edge and give him a reason to live one more day, just to find out what that sound is. That sound changes everything. Because on the other side of that wall is the man who is going to transform him, the man who will take this broken, angry young sailor and forge him into an unstoppable instrument of revenge. He's about to meet his teacher. The man making the noise is Abbe Faria. Now, the guards all call him the Mad Priest. They think he's just a crazy old guy who's always talking about some imaginary treasure. But he is not mad, not even close. Faria is a certified genius. He's a walking encyclopedia of history, science, philosophy, languages, you name it. And he is the key that's going to unlock everything for Edmond. So their dungeon basically becomes a university. Faria listens to Edmond's story and, with his incredible mind, he pieces the whole conspiracy together in like an evening. He names the names: Danglars, Fernand, Villefort, and for the first time, Edmond's rage has a target. Then, for years, Faria teaches him everything. He turns the sailor's mind into a razor-sharp weapon. He even teaches him how to act like a nobleman. And then, once the education is complete, Faria tells him his greatest secret. That mad treasure he's always talking about? It's real. And he tells Edmond where to find it. Faria gives Edmond a mind, a purpose, and a future. But the old man's body is giving out. He has a stroke, and he knows he's never going to leave that prison alive. But in his death, he gives Edmond one last, insane, desperate chance at freedom. Okay, this is easily one of the greatest escape plans ever. So Faria dies. The plan is terrifyingly simple. Edmond drags Faria's body to his own bed, and then he gets inside the burial sack meant for his friend. Just think about the sheer nerve it would take to lie there perfectly still as you're carried upstairs, swung back and forth, and then nothing. You're flying through the air, expecting to land in a dirt grave, but instead you plunge into the freezing ocean with a cannonball chained to your feet. It is the ultimate long shot. The moment he cuts himself free from that sack and gasps for air, Edmond Dantes is dead. He dies in that water. The man who breaks the surface is someone else entirely. He's been reborn with a single burning purpose and, very soon, the means to achieve it. These words have been drilled into his brain by Faria. It's the location of a legendary treasure, hidden on the tiny island of Monte Cristo for hundreds of years. It's not a myth anymore. It's a treasure map. So after he gets picked up by some smugglers, he manages to get himself left alone on the island. He follows Faria's directions. He digs. He finds a hidden cave. And there it is, a chest just overflowing with gold coins, gold bars, diamonds, rubies, a fortune so vast it's almost impossible to comprehend. In that moment, he's not just free anymore. He's become a force of nature. The transformation is total. You wouldn't even recognize him. The years in the dark have made his skin ghostly pale. Faria's lessons have given him an intellect second to none. And the money, well, the money gives him the power to do literally anything he wants. And so he takes the name of the island that gave him everything. He is now the Count of Monte Cristo. Another 10 years go by. The Count travels the world, growing his fortune, learning, planning. And in that time, the men who destroyed his life, they've done very, very well for themselves. Their success, their families, their fortunes, it's all built on his suffering. They have no idea the ghost they created is finally coming home. And his targets are not small time anymore. Fernand, the jealous fisherman, is now a famous general, the Count de Morcerf, and he married Mercedes. Danglars, the bookkeeper, is now Baron Danglars, one of the richest bankers in Paris. And Villefort, the ambitious prosecutor, has climbed all the way to the top. He's now the chief prosecutor, the very symbol of French law. They are powerful, they are respected, and they are untouchable. Or so they think. And that's the beautiful, terrible irony of it all. They feel safe. They're sure their little crime from decades ago is buried and forgotten. They've climbed so high, which just means they have a lot further to fall. They're about to be introduced to this charming, impossibly rich nobleman who is going to patiently, systematically take their lives apart, piece by piece. Which brings us back to that first question. He's not going to just kill them. No, that's way too easy. He's going to use their own greed, their own secrets, their own ambitions as the weapons to destroy them. He's going to ruin their reputations, bankrupt their fortunes, and shatter their families, making them feel the same despair he felt, right before he finally reveals who he is and why. He believes he's an agent of God delivering divine justice. But you have to ask yourself, as this perfect, beautiful, terrifying plan unfolds, where does justice end and where does pure vengeance begin?